My fiancé ended our engagement out of nowhere and then made me an offer that left me speechless. Ethan proposed to me last winter after 3 years together. We'd picked out the venue, sent save the dates, and my dress was already hanging in my closet. 2 months before the ceremony, I came home to find him sitting on the couch with his suitcase packed. He looked pale. He said, "I can't do this, Olivia. I don't think I'm ready to get married." I just stood there. No fight, no warning. He left that night and moved into a friend's apartment across town. The next few weeks were a fog of refund emails and pitiful phone calls from relatives who didn't know what to say. My best friend Kara helped me pack up his things. That's when we found the bank statement. Ethan had quietly moved half of our joint savings into a separate account a week before he left. When I confronted him, he texted back that he was handling wedding expenses, but there were no receipts, and I never saw that money again. Then I realized he'd sold the engagement ring back to the jeweler, the one my late mother had worn for 27 years. I felt sick. For nearly 2 months, we didn't speak. Then Ethan texted, "Can we meet for coffee?" Against my better judgment, I agreed. He showed up looking nervous, like he hadn't slept in days. We made small talk about work and mutual friends until he finally blurted out why he wanted to see me. He said his company had offered him a transfer to Singapore, a major promotion with a housing allowance for married employees. Single employees got nothing. Then he said the most absurd thing I've ever heard. What if we still got married legally? I laughed at first, thinking he was joking, but he kept going, said it would be a paper marriage. He'd cover my travel, my rent, everything. I could stay for a year, see the world, then we'd quietly divorce. He even offered to pay me $15,000 when it was done. I just stared at him, trying to process the insanity of what I was hearing. I asked why on earth he'd want me to do that after breaking my heart. He said he trusted me more than anyone else and didn't have time to train a stranger. I told him I needed to think. That night, I called Kara, who told me I'd lost my mind even considering it. He dumped you, sold your mom's ring, and now he wants a fake wife? Girl, no. Still, I couldn't lie. I was tempted. I'd always wanted to live abroad. My job was remote and $15,000 was a lot of money. So I made a list. Pros, adventure, career opportunity, cash, cons, humiliation, emotional torture, Ethan. I met him again 3 days later. He looked so sure I'd say yes. When I told him no, his face fell. Then he said something that almost made me change my mind. He said he hadn't left because he stopped loving me. He left because he'd been diagnosed with a chronic illness he was ashamed to talk about. He didn't want to burden me. He said he'd ended things to protect me and that he was finally doing better. I wanted to believe him. It sounded genuine. For a moment, it even explained everything. The secrecy, the distance, the sudden cold feet. But later that night, Kara texted me, "You're not going to believe this." She'd just seen Ethan's brother posting pictures from a family barbecue. In the background was Ethan, holding hands with a pregnant woman. A quick scroll through the brothers' tagged photos told the rest. The woman was named Leah. She worked with Ethan, the same work friend he used to mention casually but never introduced me to. I called the jeweler the next day to confirm a hunch. The ring hadn't been sold. It had been resized. Under a different name, Leah Morton. My stomach dropped. The Singapore move wasn't for a promotion. It was for them. He'd wanted me to go with him, legally married, so he and Leah could live together abroad without their company finding out she was pregnant by a superior. In their world, that kind of scandal could end a career. A fake wife was the perfect cover. I didn't confront him. I just sent him a single text. "Leah's ring looks beautiful. Hope Singapore treats you both well." Then I blocked his number and his entire family. A month later, I used my own savings to book a solo trip to Greece. My first morning there, I watched the sun rise over the water and finally felt something I hadn't in months: freedom. And I realized the best revenge wasn't exposing him. It was living a life he'd never get to be part of again.